Hey guys and girls, how's my hair look? My hair look good? Think I need a haircut? That's one thing I hear about every day. Well, I hadn't heard it today because I haven't seen anybody today. Hadn't seen a single person. Just me, that's it. But but every day I hear, you need a haircut. Even my granddaughter, Jordan, is now telling me, Granddad, you need a haircut. And you know, she's young. She's just a year or so out of college. So she, like girls, young girls, they like long hair. All the high school guys and college guys all got long hair. Some of my favorite entertainers, like Crowder's got long hair. He's got it going all over his face, too, and I'm not going to do that. Because Chris doesn't like that. She likes a nice, smooth, hot skin. That's what she likes. But anyway, welcome to another episode of watching giant deer antlers grow. They're not growing much now, but I asked y'all if you wanted to keep watching these deer through the rut and see how they act, and so that's exactly what we're going to do. I did take a couple cards out and gave that video to Pat. I don't know what we got on there. I have not had time to look at it. So I don't know if we got anything worth looking at or not. If it's worth looking at, I'm sure he'll show it to you, put it in this video or show it to you somewhere. But let's go run into the house real quick, run over to the house real quick and take a look at the house bucks. You know, of course, TC's over there, the big buck, and then Forrest. Those are the deer we've been watching as their antlers went from nothing to pretty good. And then some little bucks over there that are looking pretty good too. And see if we have any changes with the house bucks. And then we'll take a look at Whitey in the pen. Okay, we'll spend some time with Whitey. There's Whitey right down there. We'll walk down and take a little look at him. He's actually tamed up quite a bit here lately. I think he's actually a little bit better since Bazooka's not here. He's the only buck in here. There's no other buck around. TC comes down and antagonizes him a little bit through the fence, and I'm sure they will probably be sparring and fighting with each other through the fence. One thing, TC's going to look down here and see that Whitey's got all the girls. Whitey's got all the girls, and TC's got, of course, TC's got plenty of girls outside too. Let's zoom in on that guy right there and take a look at him right now. We're not too awful far from him. You can just see how spectacular he has become. He's the bull of the woods, absolutely no doubt about it. And we just we pray every day that he'll stay alive. He does that every time I take a picture of him. Every time I take a picture of him, he starts peeing. Look at there. I can't believe he does that. I can't believe he does that. Well, I'll tell you what. He doesn't have any prostate problems, I can tell you that. You nasty boy. He does not have any prostate problems. He is going big time right there. I probably shouldn't be showing that. You girls all turn your head. You guys just laugh. You guys just laugh. Look at that guy right there. He is a gorgeous thing. Yeah, we're just praying that he stays great. He stays healthy. He does not get any gnats laying eggs in his nose. He does not get the blue tongue. Doesn't catch pneumonia. He doesn't get any of the deer diseases. And, you know, actually, Whitey got sick. We let him out last fall to breed outside, which he did. So some of the bucks you see running around outside, some of the little baby bucks, you know, are going to belong to him, I believe. And we may have something like him next spring when they have their first real horns. They're all just 5 and 6 months old right now, so they're not going to have anything but little nubbins. But you might see this time next year some deer like him running around on the ranch, which is what the deal is. Whitey was born here at the ranch. We turned him loose last fall, and after we turned him loose, he got sick. He got really bad sick. He lost a lot of weight. He was looking bad. Oh, he's kind of thinking about the girls right there. Yes, he is. I have no competition. I'm the bull of the woods. He's going to trail a little bit there. We can't lose her in here, guy. But he, I gave him a shot 2 or 3 different times. The third time that I got up to him, tried to give him a shot, he actually jumped up and run off. So he must have been a lot better, and I never did get close enough to get him that third shot. But he hung around the house a lot. He was with a lot of does and probably should have had a really good rut last fall. He's going to have a good rut this fall as if he'll stay alive. He's beautiful, big, healthy deer, just as healthy as he can be, you know, and the other deer were also. But I see nothing at all wrong with that deer. He's just a big, big, beautiful deer. That's his second horns. He's actually a two and a half year old deer, 2-year-old deer they call him, 2-year-old deer, and we will turn these babies loose in here pretty soon. He will get ugly and kill the little bucks that's in here. He sure will. But we'll be turning those loose, and we'll get some more does in here with him. We got a lot more does in the other pen where I'm thinking about putting Forrest. Forrest is still good. Now I saw 2 wild bucks today together, so those 2 wild bucks running together means that they're not serious at all. Once they get serious, they'll split up and they'll just be individuals. And if they run into another, they're going to fight them. They're going to fight them and getting into a big battle. They're doing some. Look at him. Look at him. Is that just, oh man, that's something. You shake that fat rolling around on him and shaking that head. Boy, it'd be something to see him live 5 or 6 years. I don't know. He's just such a spectacularly big, giant, beautiful buck. And we're just hoping he can get through the rut. Between now and December, breed 10 or 12 does here in the pen. And I don't know, once that happens, I might let him out and see if he wants to get some of those late bloomers outside. But he lived great outside, but I'm not going to take a chance letting him out right now because something could happen to him. He made it through the rut last fall. He was a little skinny at the end of the year from chasing so many does. Look at him. He looks like he's going to bugle, don't he? And, you know, as they get a little closer to the rut, I've got a watch coming in the pen with them. I got to keep something between me and them, like a rubbing post or a feeder or something, you know, and I might have to drop my camera and run for the fence. You can't ever tell. So at my age, I don't know what a good fence climber I still am. I used to get shinny up and over that fence pretty quick, but I'm not sure about it right now. My shinny might not be as shiny as it used to be. But he is a beautiful, beautiful, big, giant buck, and he just looks spectacular. I want you to look at that doe right there. Look at that doe right there. Look at the belly on her. She looks like she's about to have a baby. They don't have babies this time of the year, but look at her. She looks like she's about to have a baby. And is that big, giant doe? It may be. I think that's her. Now, I don't know if that's her or not. I guess it is. I guess it's it. She's got a big belly on her all the time, you know, so. But it looks like she's about to have a baby. And we're going to go in the pen and we'll look at some of the other babies. You can see the babies in here are getting really, really large. You can see that one buck back there. He's got pretty good sized nubbins. That's all they have is nubbins right now. But look how much bigger he is than that doe standing behind him. He's considerably, like 20 or 30% larger than she is. And he's got really good nubbins on him. That is probably one of Bazooka's babies, probably, because Whitey did not participate with any of the does that are in this pen right now. That'd be a Cyclops or Whitey, or Bazooka. That's what that'd be, Bazooka or Whitey's baby. And he's going to be a good one. He's going to be a champion as well. And I'll tell him what kind of antlers he might have this next year. Those other fawns are getting just about as big as their mamas, so they're plenty big enough to let out in a while. It might be a little dangerous for some of them to get adapted, but they'll figure out pretty quickly. I think that's that big doe right back there in the corner. At that other doe, I don't know. She just looks like she's just got a big belly on her. That's what. But everybody looks good in this pen. We'll walk over and look at some of the babies. We have no buck in the other pen, but we'll walk over and look at some of the babies and kind of take and see how they all look and make sure everything's looking hunky-dory because, oh my gosh, he is just gorgeous. I just don't care what you say. He is absolutely gorgeous. Okay, we're going to take a real quick spin around this little pen here and just take a look at everybody. Everybody's looking great. That's a little baby girl, but look at the size of her. That's a little baby girl right there, but look at the size of her. She is just a big, beautiful girl. And that's a baby. She's born probably May. So June, July, August, September, October. Probably not 5 months old, right in the area, give or take, 5 months old. That's another beautiful little girl. And look at the size of her. They're just big old deer. And they're carrying all the right genetics. The genetics in the does are very, very important also. These have genetics that come from, some of these probably come from Bubba. These are either Bubba or Bazooka or Cyclops. So the genes are going to carry on. They're going to carry on even in these does. And if they get outside, and some of these yearlings will breed, they have very low success ratios to having babies and keeping those babies alive because they're babies themselves. But some of them are going to be plenty big enough to breed, as big as they are. Those two right there are really, really good size. Turn around, look over here toward the sun. That's another beautiful baby right there. And it's just amazing how big they have gotten, how much they have grown, even since last week. Now, some of them's laying down. We'll kind of walk back off that way. We're walking into the sun. We're going to get down there in the shade a little bit. We'll get down in the shade where we can see a little bit better. These guys are not really real wild at all. We got some babies laying right here. So I can get down here in the shade where we can see those babies a little bit better. But you get down here in the shade and you can see those beautiful babies there. All three of those, I believe, are little girls also. Mostly little girls. I think we've only got 4 or 5 boys in the whole bunch. So the girls are going to have to provide all of the genetics out of this year's crop. I don't know how many does we might end up keeping in here for breed, maybe about 10 for each buck. I would put Forrest in here. Forrest is going to be a great breed buck also because he's from TC, which is a big, giant Oklahoma buck. And but we'll have, you can just look at the size. It's a big doe right over there. But you can look at the babies. These are all babies in between here and there. And you see how big they are. I mean, they've just got really, really large. And we probably will go another, I don't know, maybe another couple, 2 or 3 weeks. I'd like to get to the end of the month maybe before we turn these babies out. It'd be nice if I could get the, these guys are coming up here trying to visit with me. This girl right here, he wants to come up and visit with me. See her stick her nose up. She said, I know you, Jimmy. You've been in here quite a bit. She's got a ear tag on. It says 21. So when she was born in 21 something right there. So she's just a beautiful little girl. This one over here is another beautiful girl, pretty good size. Look at that. Look at that white around her eyes. They got a lot of white around their eyes, just like Ranger had. Just beautiful, beautiful deer. And that little guy over there is, well, do I see nubbins? He's got nubbins. I was going to say he's marked in the right ear like a buck. Sometimes we mark them wrong. We do it kind of quick because we don't want to mess with them too awful much. And we doctor them and sex them. And he's a little buck. He's got some little horns on him. He's one of them that would be in danger if we put Forrest in here. Forrest would get after him. So he will be turned out also. And they're going to have to learn to survive on their own. But we've got feeders around close by they'll be able to get to. And we'll be feeding alfalfa here pretty soon. It's been too warm to feed alfalfa, but we buy alfalfa. I buy 20 big bales at a time. And alfalfa that comes from out of state. A friend of mine here brings it over and sells it to me and delivers it, and we feed these deer alfalfa all the time. The deer around the house have got it on demand, so they can have all the alfalfa they want. You can see how big that doe is back there in the corner, and how big her baby's got. Her baby's got pretty big also. And we got deer down here in the corner, and these guys are here just laying right here, not paying a whole lot of attention to Jimmy. Not paying much attention at all. These, they got 3 little girls and 1 boy. Another little boy come over and laid down. Aren't they precious? Just absolutely precious just to look at them. And these deer will probably become some of Lucy's herd around the house, I imagine. They won't all run off around the ranch. Some of them will stay here. You'll be able to see that little blue tag. It says 21 in it. And let's see, 2109, I think is what that one says, if I'm reading it right. And the one over there is a little buck. We have, like I said, I think only 4 little bucks, and that's one of them over there. So no telling what kind of antlers he might have. He might be a little 4-point or spike or 6-point, but he might also have 8 or 10 on each side for his first horns, like Bazooka and Whitey, because they're really prized. Both of those deer were born here in the pen. Yeah, I'm talking about you, little buck. You can get up and prance and show off a little bit if you want. He's going to walk around and show how big and beautiful he is. And that's another little buck right there. He's got little nubbins. So these are some of the deer that in Bubba's pen. And probably some of them Bubba's babies. You can see they've got a lot of shade and a lot of trees to get in. They love this pen right here. I think this is where we will put Forrest. We may move Whitey over here. I'm just not real sure what we'll do. We haven't decided. But it's going to be good. Whatever we do is going to be good. We just got to get those bucks in here and let them have a fun time with the ladies, and we'll have more babies next spring. Okay, that'll wrap up this week's Antlers video. I know we don't have quite as many people watching because there's just not dramatic things happening like there was earlier in the year. But I know that a lot of you want to watch these things and see what goes on through the rut, through the wintertime, and through the cold weather, and just kind of watch them as it goes on, because it's a beautiful, beautiful little bunch of deer. And like I said, we'll get Forrest. I believe we'll be able to get Forrest down here in one of these pens and put some ladies in there with him, and we're going to be able to see some things happen there. And it'll still be interesting to watch them, because a lot of y'all have, just like me, you become friends with these deer, and the deer are sort of just a nice little thing you want to watch out and visit with a little bit every week. And we're going to try to keep bringing you that visit. As long as a few thousand of you are watching, that's good enough for me. We don't have to have giant numbers watching to do a video. As long as we got a few thousand of you that are enjoying this along with me, that's absolutely great. I know some of you probably been out there in a tree for a few days and haven't seen a single solitary buck. Some of you might not have even seen a deer. So seeing Whitey in there kind of pumps your heart up a little bit and lets you know that there's things like that walking out there in the woods. And he's a beauty. He's just enjoying the cooler weather. They're all enjoying the cooler nights. And the rut's still a little ways off, but it's getting closer. And we're watching Forrest really closely, because he can get kind of dangerous without a doubt. And so we're going to try to lure him up here. And he comes up here around the pens all the time. Deer are herd animals. They like to be around other deer, and so he comes up and visits all these deer around here. He was born right here in the pen. He was born right here in this pen. So he'll get to go back in there, and I think he'll enjoy it. He'll have on-demand food, all he wants to eat, and you know he likes to eat. And I'll come up and give him carrots and grapes and Cheerios and lettuce and biscuits and all kinds of cookies and all kinds of good things. So he'll still have all the good stuff. I just got to be a little bit careful around him, and obviously careful around Whitey as well. But both of those deer are my buddies right now, and I hope they're your buddies too. Guys and girls, go out there and have you a great one this week. And remember, I sure do love you.